Hey everyone, Daniella Squicquero, Engel and Volkers, Hilton Head Island, and Bluffton, South Carolina. So today what I want to talk about is escrow. Not the most sexy of topics, but definitely something that's important for you to understand whether you are buying or selling. So, escrow. You may run into two escrow situations in your transaction if you are financing. If you are not, you will definitely at least have the first and the more complex of the two. That is the escrow that leads up to closing. So you can think of escrow as a third party. It is a neutral third party between the buyer, the seller, and whatever other parties are financially involved in the transaction. So you can really almost think of it as the central hub of a wheel, and all those individual parties, whether they are putting in or taking out at the end after closing, are the spokes. So from the earnest money to what the sellers have agreed to pay, to those things that the buyers have to pay, to the lender's money that ultimately will go to the seller for the purchase of the property. If you're financing, of course, the cash that the buyer pays, if they're just doing a cash transaction, that all goes into escrow. And as the terms of the contract are satisfied and those boxes are checked, you're getting closer and closer to closing. What are you closing? You're closing escrow. So if you ever wondered what that meant, that's what it means. You are closing the escrow account. And in order to do that, you have to satisfy the terms of the contract. So that is the first and probably more important and certainly more complex of the two escrow situations that you will run into. Now, if you are financing, your lender will set up another escrow account in your name after the transaction has closed and the house has become yours. And what goes into that escrow account is what's called your PITI payment. So you've probably heard this term, and what it means is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Principal and interest obviously are going directly to the lender. You are paying them back the money that they lent you, plus essentially what they have charged you to borrow that money. That would be the interest. Now the taxes and insurance, you are paying in effect 1/12 of your final amount every month as part of your single mortgage payment, and those monies go into an escrow account, and they are held until the time that the checks need to be cut at the end of the term. Usually it's annually, of course, for insurance and taxes, and those checks are cut to those individual entities on your behalf. So instead of you paying the annual amount out of pocket, you are adding those things into your mortgage payment to ensure that you pay them and to ensure that they are right. So your mortgage company requires that you have insurance, right? So how do they make sure that you keep it? They make sure that you pay for it. How do they make sure that you pay for it? They hold the money. So the first escrow that you will run into is the one that leads up to closing, that is opened at the time of contract and that is closed at the time of closing. The second one is the one post-contract, when you own the home and you are paying your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance payments monthly, or whatever basis you have set up, to your mortgage company, and they then use that escrow account to pay your taxes and your insurance. And that is the extremely simplified explanation for what escrow is. If you have any questions, comments, please make sure you subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you next time.